Hey, YouTubers, Tazman here, bringing you what most likely is our final episode of Learn JavaScript with Foundry VTT. Just because I can't think of anything else that really is very relevant. So if you guys know, maybe I'll throw an episode here or there when I get a chance to get more info or whatever. So we're gonna finish up. So last time we did a little bit on array methods. We talked about the app method, and we also talked about, what was the other thing we talked about? I'm drawing a blank, but we'll see it in a second. As you can see, we're in version 11.307. I think that's actually one level, minor level or whatever, or minor version higher. So let's jump right in. So it was iffies. That's right, iffy. I'm iffy. So in this episode, we are going to talk about some more array methods. Technically, I think these also work with text strings because they're kind of an array method. But we're only going to do these in the actual form or whatever of an array methods. So let's go ahead and create our new macro. We'll go and throw it in fundamentals, and we're going to call it 19. Which is funny because I think our actual episode wise, we're like on 25, 26 or something like that. So let's go ahead and do 19, and I think we didn't have one called array methods. So ARRAYMETHODS. And I wanted to check really quick. I keep getting comments. Was our last one actually episode 26 was our last one? I just wanted to check really quick if there were any current comments. I do get comments from, way long time ago, or early episodes and such, like 00 there. I don't think there's been any really from like just the previous episode. So we'll go ahead and bypass that. So here we go. We got our array methods, 19. I think that's all good. All right, so let's go grab our template real quick and do Control C and Control V. And let's hit F12 so we can see. Now, as much as I tried, I could not necessarily think of a way to actually use a D&D type of example for these things. So we're just going to use the alphabet because it's easiest for us to visualize what we're actually seeing and doing. So I apologize for that. And also I'll probably be copying and pasting a lot of my comments from my notes because they'll take me a long time to type. So we're going to talk about, first we're going to create ourselves an array. So we're going to say //ARAYMETHODS, like so. And then we're going to go ahead and create ourselves an array. So we're going to do a const ARR for array. And this is going to be a simple array of, let's just do A, comma, B, comma, C. This is why I'm not going to type in my comments, because we're going to be typing in this exact thing a lot. And let's just do to E. So we'll do a final one, E. So here we have an array. It actually has 5 elements. However, remember, arrays always are 0 based. So this is element 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. If there's one thing about arrays that I could, I want to make sure I drill into your head. In most programming language, they are 0 based. So when we're counting from the start, we always start at 0 as element. This is element 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, even though it's a 5-element array. All right. And then what I'm going to do, just so I'm not messing up this array at all, I'm going to go ahead and make, I think I could actually do this as const too. Const, and we are going to unpack our array. So we're going to call this arr2, and we're just going to make it be dot 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 and arr, like so. So what that's basically doing is copying our array into array 2. It's not a very complex array, but I just want to make sure that we have that there. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the slice method. Now I kind of feel like we've talked about this before, maybe when we were talking about strings or something. But as you can see, we have the slice method, and the thing to remember here is it does not mutate the original array. So no matter how we slice this array, it will not change the actual array. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. We're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna console log these things out instead of you know, creating a variable and then outputting the variable. So we're just gonna go straight to the console log. So I'm gonna do co and sole. I spelled it right. Log, and we're going to, I'm not even going to have any real text on this, but the way we use slices, we want it, it's a method of our array, so we can do arr, and right now, because this doesn't mutate our actual array, and that's what I kind of want to show, we're not actually going to use the arr2. So, and then we just do slice. And the parameters here is what the starting value is, where to start the slice, start and end, right? If you do not add in the start, it will always start at 0. If you don't add the end, it will end at the full array. So if we wanted the full array, we could just leave this whole thing blank. In this case, we're gonna do a slice, and we're gonna say number 2, right? So this means, so if you're wondering what this means, what do you think this is going to make it output? Actually, I feel like I'm missing. No, I'm not. So if you said that this is going to output C, D, and E, you would be correct, because we're starting at 2. So we have 0, 1, and we're starting at 2 and going to the end of the array because we didn't actually put an end value in there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this guy real quick and C and paste it, and it's not going to fit. It's going to go multiple lines, but as you can see, it's going to output CDE, and then I mentioned here slices from starting parameter to the end of the array, and that's because we don't have the end parameter. So if we go and run that, you'll see we get a returned array, or we get the output value of CDE, and you'll notice that the output value is showing that C is in array element 0, 1, and 2 in that way. That is because we are just outputting the actual values here. We're not actually saving it to anything. We're just outputting it. So now let's go ahead and do another one. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste this and paste right here. I'm going to go put a bunch of carriage returns in here. And so what we want to do now is we're going to give it a starting value, which is 1. So we want to start not at element 0, so we're going to start at B, and we want to end it at element 3. So it will go, it'll go 0. So it'll go 1, 2, and 3. Now, a thing to note about the ending element, it does not include the ending element. Because if you think of this, okay, let's just draw up here real quick, kind of an example. So if you think of it this way, where this actual quote is where we're saying 0. And then this is the value that is the 0, right? Now I'm not sure if this is a perfect way of explaining this, but it might help you understand what you're actually saying here. So as you can see, if we're saying we want 1 through 3, that means we want everything within those quotes, not including the quote because that's not really part of it. But you'll see we're getting B through and C. So if we output this, that's exactly what we should be seeing. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this note, and then we'll go ahead and run it and verify that it works right. So go ahead and put a space there, B. So this should output B and C. It does not include the last element. So whatever this one is, it's not actually going to include that element. So if we run it, you'll see we got C, D, E, and then we got B and C, which is exactly what we're expecting. Now the other thing we can do with arrays, we can also do it as we were with when we're looking at the at method. We can actually start at the back of the array and move forward. Now even though you might think, oh well, then I have to set this number one way and this number another way, it's not necessarily that way. So let's go ahead and type in another one here. Let's just grab this guy, Control C and Control V. These can get a little bit complex to think of. So we actually want this to be the 2, but we're going to do -2 and figure out what we're going to do. Now the same thing doesn't apply when we're going backwards. So this is going to array element 2. So if we look here, we have, let me just make sure I'm doing this right. Done. Size from the end of the array. So this is saying that we want to go in 2 elements. So this would be the -1, this would be the -2. And as you can see, I'm going to put that there. You can see that we're actually getting D and E, which is exactly what we should be seeing. It starts at the very end of the array with negative numbers, including that last number. So let's paste that. Whoops. I didn't need that whole thing. I just needed to there. So as you can see, we got D and E. If we execute this, we get exactly that. D and E. And it starts from the end of the array because we don't actually have the ending value. It's just looking at as we're just going from the back into. All right, so now let's go ahead and look at a little trickier one. I'm trying to remember what my logic behind this one was, but I'm going to paste it. So here you have starting at 1, and we're going to, oh, I remember now. So we're going to -2. So we're starting at element 1, which is right here, and we're going to where that -2 is, which is right here. So we are expecting to see B and C, right? Because this is 1, this is -1, this is -2. In fact, maybe we could even do that to make it a little clearer. I don't know if this helps you or not. Hopefully it does. So we could, we need to do, it's going to be kind of weird to do. So I'm going to maybe put right here, we'll do -1. I don't know if this is the best way to do this or not, but hopefully it isn't too confusing. Maybe I'll actually make it so the numbers line up. So this will be -3. Let's go ahead and delete that one. That one's good. Go ahead and space that one. -4. And obviously I can't line this one up very well, so maybe this is going to kind of knock everything off, but I want that negative there. And -5. All right, so now if we look at this and we're saying, okay, we want to start at 1, so we're starting here at 1, right? And we're going to -2. That means we're going to -2, but not including -2. So we're expecting to get back B and C, which is what I have for my comment. And let's make sure that this actually works right. And hopefully that made sense to you. So clear that, go ahead and execute, and sure enough, we just get B and C. Now, as I said before, if we do a slice with nothing in it, we just get a full slice. So if we do this, Control C, basically we're saying start at the beginning, end at the end, kind of a pointless type of slice there. So let's see, so we're going to go ahead and do Control C there and Control V there. So as you can see, this is basically going to say I want to start at the very beginning and go all the way to -1. Or maybe you'd have to think -0 because it has to include that one. So that's basically a slice. And then what I wanted to show here real quick is that basically, let's do a V, oh, that was the wrong one. I wanted to just show that our actual ARR variable or array has not been changed at all. So if I just do ARR, I believe, and go clear this, you can see that we have A, B, C, D, E, and then we have A, B, C, D, E. We could also have done this way where we're just unpacking it. So if we highlight all that, do that, and whoops, those were the wrong ones, Control Z. If I do that, and then do that, and then do ... we're going to see the exact same thing. So there you go. So whether you're just saying unpack it here or you're just displaying the array, that's up to you. All right, so that is, in a nutshell, that is our slice method. I'm going to put 2 carriage returns there. All right, the next one we're going to learn is called splice. And splice is different than slice because, for one, it does mutate the array. So if we do V here, so the splice method does mutate the original array. I'm not sure why we're getting, oh, I know why we're getting it. All right, so let's start going over splice. What are we at? 17. We're okay. I'm gonna have to do a little more cutting and pasting, and then we'll just talk about it. So here is our splice method. As you probably guessed, it's a lot like slice. However, it uses the word splice instead of slice. So here in this first one, you can see we're doing array and we're doing splice -1. And what this is going to do is create a new array, and that array will only contain the last, or well, it's going to remove the last element from the array. This is kind of the same thing as using the pop on an array, just to remove the last. So we're splicing off that. Now if we were assigning this to something, then that value, maybe we should do that real quick. I didn't do that in my notes, but here I can see that it might be good. So let's do let ARR to temp maybe equal, and Control C and Control V, like so. And then here we will go ahead and output our array again, like so. So what we're going to do is we're going to splice off, but we're going to take what we splice off and assign it to ARR to temp. And then I'm going to go ahead, actually I'm doing ARR there, maybe I'll do ARR to temp here, just to show you what it's doing. Alright, so if we run this one, you'll see we get an error, and that is because we have a bracket there. Okay. Alright, so if we run this one, now we get an error down here. Where's our error? Undefined assignment to constant variable. Where am I? Oh, because I'm doing AR2. That's why I did let, so we could keep changing this. All right, there we go. All right, so as you can see now, what was spliced off of it is now assigned to the new variable, and our array is now missing the E. So the original array has been mutated, and that mutation has been assigned to a new variable in this case. So, and then as you can see here, we're recopying array 2 to be back to our original value. All right, now I'm going to grab this next example, and we'll go and throw that in here and have those two in. All right, so here you can see we're going to splice from 0 to 2. So if we go look at our thing and we go from 0 to 2, you'll see that we'll get back A and B as our array elements. And that will be actually, right now it's just going to be thrown out and replaced in this spot, right? And then if we go look at the array after that, looking at array 2, you'll see that we have C, D, and E is what's remaining. So now if we execute that, you can see that A and B has been removed from the array and assigned to the console log as output, and the array now is C, D, and E instead of all this other stuff. And I think that covers, because I want to hurry get through this. We're at 21 minutes, and I wanted to get all this in. There's 2 more pieces we want to talk about. So let me go ahead and go down here one and there. So the next thing we're going to do is the reverse method. And once again, this will mutate the original array. So I'm going to go ahead and copy a bunch of junk here and hit C, and we'll talk about it. This is actually in one. There we go. And the back one. So do V. I don't know why it pushes all this stuff back. Oh, it's because it's on my, how it is on my notepad there. All right, so here we're creating a array random, and you'll see that we have L, K, J, I, H, G, F, which is the next following alphabet characters after E, but they're not in any kind of order. They're kind of messed up. Technically, I think they're backwards. F, G, H, I, J, K, L, right? So here we're going to, once again, copy our array ran, and we're going to copy it to array ran 2. So we're unpacking the array and assigning it to that. So if we console log, what we should see, array ran 2 will be exactly this. Now if we do the reverse method, it will take each element and reverse them. So F becomes the first, this becomes second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh in the placing, right? If we output here, we can now see that it will be F, G, H, I, J, K, and L, which is exactly what we want. And then we're outputting the actual array after that we've modified, because this does mutate it, and we can see that it will be mutated. So let's go and clear this out and run that. And so now you can see here's the L, K, J, I, H, G, F, and now it's F, G, H, I, J, K, L. And if we go look at the actual array, it has been modified as well. All right, so our final, actually we have 2, I missed one. We have actually 2 topics now, starting now. All right, so let's go ahead and grab this one and paste that. And then we'll go ahead and move all of this tab in. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about really quick is concatenating. And we learned that, we can just add in things together. Now, we've learned also that we can take the unpacking of array range 1 and array 2 and actually concatenate them together. So that would put, L, J, K, I, blah, 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 all that stuff, and then A, B, C, D, E, which is our array 2, which is up here, array 2, right? So we can kind of do the same thing just without doing concatenate. We can actually say we want to unpack array 2 and then followed by array 1. Now, would we necessarily want that order? Sure, why not? because I guess we wanted a messed up order here. Did I get everything? Oh, I missed the last comment that I wanted here. Control C and Control V. So anyway, with concant, basically, just like we did above, you take what your array is that you want to concatenate to, and you do the dot concant, and its parameter would be the array you want to append or concatenate into the array. It does not mutate the original array. Wait, didn't I say that earlier? Yes, I think so. I don't remember. I know this one mutates it, this one does not. So the original array, in this case we're saying array 2, and we're concatenate array random 2, and we're concatenating array 2. When we output our array ran 2 again here, we'll see that it is actually the original value without the ABCDE. So if we run this, you'll see down here we have the L, K, J, H, I, J, G, and then the A, B, C, D, E after it. And then we're doing it the other way, where we're just unpacking both ran array 2 and ran array 2, array ran 2 and array 2, and basically getting the exact same thing. However, if we go look at it, array ran 2, oof, I should have came up with better names, has not changed. All right, and then the final one, and this is probably one that might be a little more handy for various things that you might be doing, is the join method. And the join method works where it joins an array with another array. So in this case, it joins, it gives us an output of a string basically. And where did I set up letters? Letters.join. Did I do letters? I don't remember doing letters in this. Oh, I did up here actually. So we're saying letters equals the array 1 and the concatenating array 2. That's where letters comes from. So in this case, what we're going to do is our join parameters is going to be what we want each one to join with. So what this is going to output is just a string. It's going to turn it into a string instead of an array at all, and each element will be joined by whatever we put inside these quotes. So if we clear this out and run that, you'll see that now we don't even have an array, but we have our individual elements. So if you wanted to do, let's say you had a big array of items or something like that, and you wanted to output it to JSON, you could do that using the join. And then some other fancy stuff to, fix all the other elements so that, it starts right or whatever to make it look right. So I think that is everything I wanted to accomplish in this episode. It is a bit of a longer one. I apologize for that. But you guys should now be expert module coders, or not module, macro coders, and hopefully you found this tutorial series helpful. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all the comments I've had throughout this series, and if there are more where it's saying, hey, you probably should talk about this topic or whatever, I'll probably throw out a couple more episodes. But this is all I can think of for right now. So thanks once again for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Click that little notification bell. Tell other people about my channel. Have them check it out. If they like what they say, they can sub. We grow the channel. Yeah, and that's it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.